Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning, Nina. Welcome to the Whip. How are you?
Great, doing wonderful. Thanks for
Fantastic.
having me.
Oh, thanks for joining. You told me this is your first Instagram Live. It
Right.
it seems to be the trend here with first time Instagram Lives for all of us in Santa Barbara. So it's super fun.
And it's a great way for everyone to come together quickly and conveniently.
Yep, all true. Well, I just want to start out welcoming everyone. My name is Alexis Tandy, and I'm with the WhipSB. And for today's Instagram Live is Nina Johnson. Nina is a candidate for the Santa Barbara City Council 6th District seat. The election is coming up soon in November. That seems far away, but we know it'll be here before we know it. So let's just start off. And for those who have not had a chance to see you doing all this work, and can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for this position?
Yes, I'm running for City Council because I am really seeing a need for a new vision for the city and a need to bring a lot of the skills and knowledge that I've acquired over so many years of working with the city. I work in the city administrator's office at City Hall, and I've been there for 25 years. I started as an intern many years ago while I was in grad school at UCLA. I have a degree in public administration and also a master's degree in urban planning. So really studied urban design, economic development, sustainability, land use, housing, all of these issues that we are looking at in our community. That is my passion and joy, and I have closely followed all of our community issues for many years because I've been behind the scenes and been innovating within the organization and also in more outward-facing policy roles. So I'm really excited to run for City Council, and I think our city is positioned right now with the pandemic accelerating so many changes. We need new people on the City Council who understand how to be innovative in this moment, how to look at many of the issues that we're facing with a different lens. And that's what I bring to the table with the knowledge of and the background that I have from serving so many years at City Hall. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that background to City Hall in a different way, in a different role. It's really important for people to understand because I think many don't understand what is the difference between a staff person and a City Council member. Yes, a City Council member adopts policies, approves policies. They are in a public-facing position. They're getting a stack of reports ahead of every Tuesday meeting. They are getting presentations made at their official meetings that are open to the public and committee meetings. And that's where they're able to make decisions and set direction for the rest of the city. They give direction to the staff. So what I'm talking about doing is, as a staff person, I serve at the direction of the City Council where you are unbiased and neutral. And I'm looking at how to step out of a more neutral position where we present options and alternatives and make recommendations to a position where I am making decisions and part of the decision-making body that's taking a position. Because I think some people are confused and not understanding the roles as clearly, but I think that distinction is an important one.
I think that's incredibly helpful to everybody voting and just learning more about the local political landscape in Santa Barbara. It's, people are coming to the table for the first time, and we're at such a pivotal role right now where this is just such a crazy election because there's so much on the line right now, it feels like.
Yes, I think we're in transition for the amount of real estate that we have. We have too much retail space, not enough housing. We have likely too much office space as well, as more and more people are working from home. So we're really in a position where we need to start adapting all of our space and looking at our needs and the future, being more forward thinking and looking ahead for all of our space needs. So it's less getting by, getting through the year, getting through the month, and more what's ahead in the next 10, 20, 30 years, and planning for that in all of the decisions that we make. And I think for the City Council, taking more of a long-term strategic thinking approach and less deciding on items that are presented each and every Tuesday, which is a lot of work, by the way. I mentioned all the reports and presentations. When we talk about changes needed at the City Council level, that is a very hardworking group. It is not easy to be a council member. And really what's needed is a different mix of skills, and each individual member of council changes the dynamic. So if one member changes, if two members change, the group dynamic changes after that.
Can you explain your experience working at City Hall for over 20 years? I feel like there's so much, and we could talk about this for so long. Can you just expand on that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. I've always been a change agent in the organization. That's been my role. I have served under several mayors and numerous council members, and that is really helpful for me because I have seen so many different styles and approaches. I've seen how different people lead. I've seen how different mayors lead. I started under and was trained by former Mayor Harriet Miller. And I used to watch her and how she interacted with staff and other council members, and how she used to develop policies, reach agreement, pull people together, be bold and decisive. And I learned as a young staff person, I was able to watch her and learn from some of the things that she did every day. And on the way, all the way through, I was able to see different systems and different ways of the council and staff interacting. So that has helped me to see where are we now compared to, previous councils. And I think right now we could be more community driven. We've become very staff driven. And, I think really council could take the lead more in directing staff and be more visionary, really help staff understand what our end game is, and provide more opportunities for the community to engage. We have, so many consultants that we're engaging. We need fewer consultants, and we need a lot more consulting of our talented community members. There's so much talent in our community that can be tapped to solve a lot of the problems that we're facing. And more of a focus on design and aesthetics. That is, our community is known for design and architecture, and we need to make sure that we put our design-oriented thinkers, problem solvers in the lead to solve these problems that we're facing, and make sure that they have roles. I want to make sure that as a council member, people feel so much pride in their city, and they have ways to engage and participate and contribute, and they feel good about it. What I'm noticing from a lot of conversations that I have with different stakeholders is people feel like they're not heard, they're not included, they're not able to contribute in meaningful ways. And that raises an alarm for me. I think that we have to be more creative about engaging the whole community, listening to more voices, and not just doing it as a check on the box. It's by engaging the whole community that we wind up with projects, public spaces, plazas, anything that we're working on that actually reflects the essence and spirit of Santa Barbara. It's because people were engaged and put it together themselves.
Let me ask you a question, going back to your experience at City Hall. You say that you're a change agent. What also I'm noticing is that you brought up Harriet. Was she sort of a mentor to you? What I'm getting at is, as a woman at City Hall, a Sri Lankan woman, a woman who looks great and looks very young, though you do have 25 years experience behind you, and you know, obviously everything you need to be in your position. What is it like to be a woman in City Hall? And my question is, how are women and people of color empowered in their roles at City Hall?
Mm-hmm.
Are they encouraged to advance?
I think we have more improvement, and we could see more improvement in this area. My challenge has been, it's been very difficult to let others see my strengths. And I think that for the rest of the organization and our managers, executives, really spending more time to help identify where the talents and skills are in their team, helping more people feel included and a sense of belonging. I think that people are consciously and unconsciously behaving in ways sometimes that put people at a disadvantage, and they may not realize it. And really paying close attention to how information is shared and how opportunities or special assignments, how we are encouraging people to grow in different ways and working with them to come up with plans and ways to grow in a different area. I have for many years had a lot of opportunities, and I feel so grateful that people recognized the more subtle interpersonal skills needed to create change, especially within the organization, implementing sustainability programs and bringing different departments together to help implement green practices that protect the environment, or helping us to be more business friendly, establishing our management systems, which seems very basic, but working one-on-one with every program in the entire city, all 10 departments, to figure out what is your mission and what is your annual plan of objectives. What are you going to accomplish, and how we can look at measurable results at the end of that. So I've spent a lot of time working with people on that, and that was a time to bring out a lot of my skills in working with different groups and coming together with diverse interests, quite frankly. I see that as a main skill area for me. I'm often talked about in relation to the business community, and we refer to that entire group as one large amorphous group, but there are actually several groups within the business community, and it is work, and it takes a lot of early conversation and broaching difficult topics with property owners, with real estate brokers, with the bank institutions, with local business owners, with the downtown organization, other business organizations. It takes work to develop those relationships and have difficult conversations. So I guess I'm going into the experience that I have also, but just to get back to your question, I think that it takes work to demonstrate the talents that you bring, and really what we need is the organization to make a larger effort to see all of the people who have skills and talents, and to appreciate that diversity, and to know that some are at a disadvantage, to show those that they may not be recognizing those qualities in others. And I'm making that case also with all of the community members who have so much to provide. It's how do we really recognize the talent and skill that's around us?
Mm-hmm. This is an interesting conversation to have, because obviously you work at City Hall and you're running at the same time. So, I mean, that can be a tricky balance to strike. And I certainly have appreciation for that, as I'm sure everyone else does also.
And maybe before you ask the question, I'll just clarify that I'm officially on vacation. I'm not at City Hall, and I haven't been since I announced running. And that is going to be the case through the council race, through the election. but I'm giving up my job to do this. I'm not going to be working there. So this is a sacrifice that I'm making so that I can really serve the community in the highest manner possible. And I feel that it's a better use of my time and attention, my energy, that I can help bring people together in the community and move out of the neutral, impartial staff role and move to a position where I can take a position and be vocal and be at the table to help make decisions. I really want to work more closely with other council members and help them strategize, help them achieve more, accomplish more in their districts and in the city at large. That's really important to me. And as a staff member, you don't have those opportunities to work so closely with the council members because they're really a group that functions on their own, and the staff and the council don't get to share information as easily.
I think that's interesting because there has been all this talk with people with the election about who's an insider at City Hall and who's not. And you're really drawing a distinction between the two roles. And really what you're speaking about is it's not being an insider. It's actually having experience and knowledge and relationships.
Yes. And I think the term insider might mean different things to different people. I mean, from the perspective that I have information that the public doesn't see, yes, I am seeing things from the inside of the organization, what council is not seeing at their meetings, what the general public is not seeing. So I have that level of information and going back for a few decades. So that is very helpful background information, and that helps me to really identify what is the root cause of an issue and how do we solve it? Because when I'm hearing someone's concern, I know exactly where that concern lies. I know how we fund that area. I know the different factors, the different considerations that come into play, even behind the scenes that we don't talk about necessarily in public. I mentioned that council members review recommendations and they're making decisions on policy direction, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of effort to figure out what to present, what options do we develop, and who do we talk to? How does everything come together behind the scenes before it gets to the city council? So that's the other side that I bring.
Mm-hmm. The getting back to the whole insider talk. It seems as though, and I run into this all the time in my neighborhood, that there's sort of like an old guard, that is around. And there's also a whole new generation of people that are coming to Santa Barbara with ideas of change and updates and new ideas. And there's sort of this constant clash. When you think of terms of insiders, are we, at City Hall, are we inviting the new energy in, or do we fall into a pattern of just hiring maybe, these, white men at the prime of their careers just to keep everything going as, steady. And then when someone introduces a new idea, is that a hard place to be? What are your thoughts around that?
Mm-hmm. I think we need to help new ideas get off the ground and help, for example, many creative business owners get to yes, help new proposals that don't fit well within our regulations and structure. We have a lot of rules on the books that no longer serve us. So getting away from some of those and being able to figure out what do we keep and what is worth getting rid of that's no longer serving us, and helping people move forward with those new ideas so that we can really complement everything that is here already in Santa Barbara, that, the rich history, our natural environment, all of the beauty, the architecture and design. We have so much in place on the ground that makes Santa Barbara special. And how do we complement with more contemporary elements, and really, move along with the times. And I think there's so many opportunities for that all across the board. And what I see is it's really a moment for us that we can make changes, but do it in a way that protects our uniqueness, and do it in a way that keeps Santa Barbara very special and not like any other city. I spend a lot of my time brainstorming new ideas, learning from other cities, taking trips to other cities and abroad just to research projects, see, new designs, bring back ideas. But what's important is learning from all of that information and what would be appropriate for us here in Santa Barbara. Once we know what is possible in other places, what might work, what elements work best for Santa Barbara, because we need to come up with our own approach that works best for us. And we're very isolated in Santa Barbara. We're not part of the LA regional area. We're not part of the Bay Area or San Diego. So that means that sometimes we're not exposed to some of the larger conversations and other concepts and proposals that other cities are coming up with. So I think we have to make an extra effort there to bring forth new ideas and innovative methods. So I think at this point, it's actually, before I wouldn't have been saying this years ago, but now I see that change is needed actually to protect how special we are. It used to be, we don't want to change because we want to stay the way we are. But I think it's a matter of actually being forward thinking and being innovative to protect who we are. And that,
I want to write that down. Changes protect our uniqueness that we've already established. That's
yes.
Very well put. Very well put.
It's actually time, and also when you're mentioning kind of the old guard, if you will, I see opportunities in so many different areas. Let's just take the design of our public spaces, for example, where the old guard and the new guard come together. I think it's time. We've actually reached that time where people want to work together and they see the need for changes and they want to put things together in a new way that they haven't before. And I'm seeing that across the board. So that's a really exciting time for us.
So such great points you're making. I want to kind of wrap things up with a final thought. I want to say personally that I have loved speaking to different women leaders across the community. Women leaders in Santa Barbara, I just think they're just super cool. And yeah. I'm learning so much through these conversations, and I'm sure other people are too. I asked this of Laura Capps the other day, and I want to ask you the same thing. When you're speaking to other women, and whether they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, I think most of, we're a little older on the whip. But what is your advice for them to be change agents, to really grab a seat at the table? It's hard. We're not there yet. We're just not there yet, but we're coming to it. We're getting there slowly, and you're right in it, knee deep in it. What would you offer other women? I want to give you the podium for that, because I just really believe women supporting other women.
Thank you. I would say my best advice to other women is trust your instincts, follow your gut, and really don't be afraid to be yourself. I think early on I had amazing mentors who helped me realize that I have so many strengths in my own style that I don't need to emulate any of the other women or men around me. So I have a quiet style where I like to voice concerns in a certain way, and I try to be very tactful and respectful about how I approach my conversations. And that is my style, and I think it works well for me. And I really appreciate that they gave me that support. I would say that it's important to surround yourself with people who see your strengths. I mentioned that that's the challenge as a woman of color. It's harder. You have to go out of your way for people to see your talents and what you bring. So I think surround yourself with people who see your skills and your real strengths, and make sure you spend time with those people, and take pride in your own style. I think that's so important. People are going to have comments and want you to act a certain way, and there's no need to do that. I would also say that there are many women who I lean on for advice and wisdom, and they have been incredible to me to this day. And I carry a very special place for them always. But then at the same time, I know that women can also be hard on other women. And I hate to close on that as well, but it's being watchful of who you keep company with, and making sure that you're around good influences so that people help you grow and challenge you, but believe in you. I think that and when for another woman looking to her peers and to her friends, being that person who can help be a friend and notice when someone else is going through a challenging time and being there for them, figuring out and identifying what are the stumbling blocks, and when someone is not being recognized for their contributions, what can be done. So I think looking for opportunities to help others and surrounding yourself with the right people, I think there's so much to be said for that.
Fantastic. Thank you for that answer. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I want to give you the last couple minutes to speak directly to constituents in the 6th District.
Yes, I really look forward to serving as a council member and bringing more opportunities to the many creative people we have living in Santa Barbara. I want to see people more directly engaged in developing our public spaces, working on solving housing issues and homelessness. I think there's so many ideas out there and people who want to be more involved and are needing and wanting ways to be more involved in our conversations. So I really look forward to bringing about a new model of conversation and working with other council members to make that happen. And I think it's the fresh ideas and a new style of thinking that is going to usher that in. And we're right at the moment now during the pandemic that people are ready for these changes. So for anyone who's listening, really appreciate your support and would appreciate your vote if you're living in the 6th District.
Fantastic. That was a great conversation, and I really appreciate you coming on here, speaking from your heart and about your experiences. I know it's not always easy to have some conversations, but I just really appreciate everything that we've talked about. So we will continue to watch you and wish you well, and hopefully we'll be able to chat again soon.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here and sharing, and thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Fantastic. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thanks for joining the WHIP.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.